What is up, guys? Welcome back to episode number 14 today of the My Player Career Mode here on FIFA 18. If you missed last episode, then you won't know what's to come in this one, but I'll briefly go over what happened. Basically, we played 3 games in that episode, and Ben's shooting boots were a little bit off in that one. He couldn't quite find the back of the net, and he had some very good chances to do so. But at the end of that episode, or just before the end, he was actually told the news that he's been called up to England to represent them in some international friendlies again, much like he did when he made his debut against South Africa. He's going to get the chance to showcase what he can do again. This time around, it's going to be either against Brazil or against Wales that you'll see later on in this episode. But we've got 2 games in the championship and then 1 for England to come today. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. It's a bumper episode. There's some very interesting games in here, let's put it that way, after the last episode. So hopefully Ben can get back to the ways that he was previously, where he's banging them in for fun, setting up his teammates, winning balls, and just being an all-round boss in the center of the park. So that's what we're going to try and get him back to doing today. Now, he has had a new haircut, so maybe that will give him a little bit more luck in the way of that way as well. But the most important thing to remember, guys, is that right now for Ipswich, they are in with a shot at trying to get the playoffs, of course. They were within with a shot with automatic promotion, but previous results and previous performances have let them down, which means now they are looking to just secure their top 6 spot. And they've got a game against Bristol City here, which actually started off terribly for them. They really were so lucky to not be 1-0 down. Again, defensively, they look so bad to Ipswich. I don't know what it is, but that man there for Bristol, how we missed that is completely beyond me. That is ridiculous how that's not 1-0. And then Bristol City continue to pile on the pressure. The man who missed that early chance whips across towards the back post where Patterson is. His header hits the underside of the crossbar and stays out. Truly, don't know how Ipswich are still in this game. That's 2 massive chances that Bristol City should have arguably scored both and should be 2-0 up in this game. But then the first chance of the game fell Ipswich, or the first chance for Ipswich fell their way 28 minutes in, when Ben gets into the area, feeds the ball back across, and there was his teammate at the back post to tap that one home. So much luck involved in this game, guys, because arguably it should have been 1-0 or even 2-0 to Bristol City, and yet it is Ipswich who take the lead in this one. Honestly, no words for what happened. Genuinely do not know how Bristol City weren't winning this one. Obviously, it's good work from Ben. Gets into the area. That touched their pass to defender. Then he stops it in the area, feeds it across, and there is his teammate, of course, to apply the finish. But it should not have happened. Bristol City should be at least 1 goal to the good in this one. It should be 1-1, not 1-0. So, with one mind on that international performance for England potentially coming after this game here or in that Wales one, Ben will not be on the pitch for the full 90 minutes here, even though he started off this game brilliantly. So 1 assist in the bag. He's still got, I'd say, about another 40 minutes or so to go, because I was looking at possibly bringing him off at 60, maybe 70 minutes into this one. And he actually ends up with another chance here on the stroke of half-time. Works his way into the area. The defender does ever so well originally to take the ball off him, but just the desire and the work rate of Ben to get back on it, battles away with his centre-back that is against Hegler here, and in the end, he ends up giving away a penalty. Not only that, gets a red card for his troubles as well. I mean, you'll see the replay. It's a definite penalty and a definite red card. You can argue that maybe Ben isn't in 100% control of the ball, but even so, you know, it's his desire to get back on that one. And Matty Taylor, the man who missed the open net earlier on for Bristol, was the man to make way so they could bring on another defender. But it didn't matter, because McGoldrick stepped up, the penalty taker for Ipswich Town. He had a very lucky penalty in the last episode where he potentially could have missed it had the keeper been better and saved it. This time around, though, he ends up with a better penalty than he hit in the last episode, and this one is more, I guess, clinical than that one in the last one. So, makes it 2-0, McGoldrick with a second in this game here. You can say as well, Ben's had a hand in both goals, getting the assist for the first one and winning the penalty for the second. And actually, guys, that's the second time in as many episodes that Ben's won a penalty for the team. He won one last episode as well. So that's 2 penalties now in 2 episodes that he's managed to win for Ipswich, which is pretty good, I would say. So 2-0 up, cruising. It looked like it was going to be a good day at the office for Ipswich. And of course, if they can get these 3 points, it's going to be an important 3 points as well indeed. So they need to hold on to this, really. And it's 2-0. You shouldn't expect them to drop this against 10 men either. And that's exactly what didn't happen as we went into half-time. So half-time whistle goes. Ben feeling good about himself. He was playing pretty well. It was 2-0 at half-time. And I suppose it was really one of those games where on another day, Bristol would have run away with this one. They had 2 early chances where they probably should have scored both of them. And yet they go in at the break 2-0 down. So football can be a cruel game. It can be a very harsh game indeed, and that's really something that I really did feel bad for Bristol. But as Ben went off, guys, 90 minutes into the game now, you can see we're trying just to shore up these points here, and it was actually the 90th minute before another chance happened. Garner gets a little bit lucky, feeds the ball off to Ward. Why on earth Garner isn't shooting there himself, one-on-one with a keeper, I don't know. But in the end, Grant Ward ends up hitting one off the top of the crossbar. It should have been 3-0, but again, why is Garner not shooting there? 100% I would be shooting hands down. There's no way I'd pass it when I was in that position. Absolutely no way. I'd be shooting there every day of the week. So, slightly disappointing from him. AI decision making not strong enough, but it is what it is. And we did come away with 3 points. So for Ben's sake, it's another good performance for the English central midfielder, 9.1 match rating. And also for Ipswich's sake, it's another 3 points on the board. Wolves drawing 1-1 with Burton Albion there. In terms of the teams that are still within the playoffs then, I don't think Leeds played there, so you can't see their result. Sheffield Wednesday, I don't actually see there either, so you can't see their result. And I'm not quite sure who the other team is within the playoffs. So, yeah, decent result. After 37 games were played, Ipswich are sat in 4th place currently, which is a good thing as well. And actually, we were away from Ipswich because we joined up with the England squad to see Ben in this England team. And it was actually weird because not only was he in the England team, he was technically the highest rated player in the England team for this game against Brazil. What? How is the championship midfielder the highest rated player in this team? So arguably, England's best player in this game against Brazil here. That's what it says on paper, of course. So for somebody to be a championship player and be possibly England's best player on the day here, it's quite weird to see that, but it is what it is. Anyways, Brazil's not going to be an easy opponent, of course. As it is only a friendly, I'm assuming they're going to have a little bit of a weaker team as well, much like England did for this one. That is going to be the test, I think, here today. So can Ben play as well as he did in his first debut for England, you know, when he got that goal against South Africa, which turned out to be the winning goal of the game, may I add. It wasn't the cleanest strike in the world, but he got the job done at least. So now he takes on a much more difficult Brazilian side. So, yeah, it's going to be more tough for him on the day. You can see him there. And that is the Brazil team that they have. It's not the strongest team in the world. There's a couple of players in there that are not easy to face. David Luiz, of course, being one of those. The England team, on the other hand, there it was for you. Deeney up front with Ben just in behind him. And this is where I think Ben thrives, you know, just in behind, like a shadow striker in many ways. I personally think that is where Ben shines when he's at his best. And 13 minutes in, he drops very deep here to receive this pass, and he tries to do a little bit of dribbling. Little 1-2 of his teammate. Great play, actually. Gets through, and just like that, he scored in his debut. He's going to score in this game as well. Brazil 0, England 1. Ben Wood showing the quality yet again. Picks up the ball deep. 1-2 of his teammate. Gets in. And the finish is there as well. Not the cleanest in the world. Very much like the other game. Keeper maybe could have got a hand to that one if he'd have been able to react a little bit quicker. But as Ben picks the ball out the back of the net, he had just scored for his second time in his England career in as many games. 2 in 2 in international friendlies now for Ben. That is sensational stuff. So the game starting off pretty brightly for Ben indeed. And now, as we move forward into the 29th minute, guys, Brazil got themselves into the game. Allen on the ball, feeds it to Fernandinho. Great turn on the edge of the area, finds Douglas Costa. And that is what Brazil can do to you. So England led for a little bit of time, but Brazil really showed their quality to get themselves back in this game, because that was just a lovely turn from Fernandinho. And the finish as well, you can't really take anything away from that. It was just a nice all-round goal from Brazil. So it's 1-1, even though Ben did give them a lead. Slightly disappointing to be 1-1 drawing with Brazil here at the Odroma Stadium. And then 58 minutes into it, in the second half now, Douglas Costa involved in this one. It's not going to be the finish this time, though, as he feeds it back to Allen. Allen to Malcolm at the back stick, who wins his header and puts the Brazilians 2-1 ahead. Admittedly, like I said, it's a friendly, so technically it doesn't actually have any importance to anything. I guess for morale, though, it kind of does, but even so, you know, it's a bit disappointing to say the least. The fact that we took the lead, couldn't hold on to it, and now with 30 minutes left, we're 2-1 down in the game. So for England's sake and Ben's sake, not a good day, but for Ben himself, in terms of the result, it was poor, but for his own personal performance, grabbing his second goal at international level, of course, it's not a competitive goal, with it only being a friendly, but for him, confidence-wise, morale-wise, it's certainly going to boost him. So I go back, guys, to my original point, which I made way back when he made his debut for England. So as things stand, of course, we have the World Cup in Russia coming up at the end of this season in game, which means Ben might be on that plane to Russia. If you were the England manager right now, and you're looking at the team for Russia, And Ben has scored 2 goals in the 2 games he's played in international friendlies, that one against Brazil there. And he's playing the way he is in the championship. Would you pick him for your England team to go over and play in Russia in the World Cup? Would you guys pick him? That is going to be my question for today's video. Would you guys give Ben the chance in the World Cup in 2018, even if he doesn't play, you know? I mean, he's got some very, very difficult players to try and knock out of the team. You got Dele Alli, of course. You got Ross Barkley in there as well. There's a few other, you know, like Lingard and people like that. So, technically, would you give Ben a shout in Russia? That's my question to all of you guys watching this video today. Leave a comment. Would he be in your England team for that 2018 World Cup in Russia? Would he be in mine, would you say? If I was England manager, I think I would give him a chance. You know, he scored 2 goals in 2 games now at international level for England. Yes, one was against South Africa, but the one there against Brazil, it was a great take. It was a nice finish, and I think overall, the way he's played in the championship, he's been so consistent. He's won 3 Player of the Months in the championship. Of course, 3 consecutive Player of the Months as well, may I add. So, yeah, I mean, you know, would he make that plane to Russia? That's going to be my question mark. And the thing is as well, guys, you've got to take into consideration, the fact is, although he's playing championship football, the 2 games he's played at international level, he's played very well indeed. So that is the thing that you have to think about. So let me know, would you guys give him that shot on the plane? So away from England now, back to Ipswich. And as you can see, they're taking on, I think it was Birmingham for this one here. It's a second and final game in the championship for today's episode, and the final game of the episode as well, for that matter. And it was going to be interesting, because Ben, of course, is going to be high in confidence after that goal in England colours here. So we'll see if he can play as well as he has been doing for Ipswich. So now, 1 minute into the game, already the first chance appeared. Across towards the middle, Ben made the run into it, and all of a sudden it found its way back into the middle where McGoldrick was. His strike was sent goalwards, but the keeper pushed it over the top of the crossbar. You'll see the save here. Very good save indeed. It was straight at him, but he still had to make the save, and that's the important thing to think about. 37 minutes into it now, guys, and as you can see, Ben's kind of just running around in that free roll area like Isco does for Real Madrid. Picks up the ball here, and he feeds a nice pass into his teammate. Eventually gets it back through the through ball. Great play. Gets through, and last episode, Ben would have missed that. His shooting boots were off. He wouldn't have been able to finish that chance. However, today's episode, as he started off well for Ipswich earlier on, grabbing the assist and then getting the penalty or winning the penalty, he then scores for England and then finishes this one off for Ipswich. So now it looks as if the old Ben is back and he is ready to really mount a push for Ipswich now towards the back end of this season, of course. So nice to see him scoring, nice to see him grabbing the goal as well. But you have to give credit to his teammates, because it was also them involved in the build-up as well. So not just all Ben doing the work, it was a nice pass through, and he just applied the finish for his 14th league goal of the season. 14 championship goals now from midfield he's got, and he's not even playing in behind the striker as a shadow striker. He's playing at centre midfield, so that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. It's like Dele Alli-esque. So anyway, 59 minutes in, Ben now looking for a cross across the face of goal. He gets brought down. Referee plays advantage because the pass did actually find its way through to his teammate, but somehow they couldn't quite send the strike goalwards, and in the end the keeper picks it up, but the defender did actually clip Ben on his way through. You'll see it from this angle here, which caused Ben to then go down. Whether or not it's a penalty, that can be debated, but the referee gives it anyways. He did try and play advantage when he realised the pass had actually found its way to McGoldrick, and it's not going to be him to actually take this penalty. It goes to our number 11 instead, and it was an emphatic penalty indeed here. Great spot kick, sending it towards the left-hand side of the goal, and he makes no mistake with the finish at all as the boys celebrate around him. 61 minutes onto the clock, Birmingham 0, Ipswich 2, and finally it looks as if Ipswich might be back to their winning ways that we're trying to get them back to. So, yeah, it's slightly weird to see this because, I mean, you look at the way we played, or the way Ipswich played in the last few episodes, and you were kind of thinking to yourself, they may even struggle to get back to the playoffs, you know? They may struggle to even keep a playoff spot. But then the way they're playing now, it's like there's still enough games for them to try and mount a push for that automatic promotion spot. So there's still kind of every chance that maybe they will be able to get an automatic promotion spot. I mean, I guess it's all to be found out. After that game, though, guys, that's the 39th league game of the season. Another 3 points on the board. That means there's 7 more to go. We'll have to see if Ipswich can manage to push themselves to automatic promotion, or if they'll have to accept a playoff spot. So, as I said in yesterday's episode, or the episode that last went out, guys, if Wolves are in the playoffs and Ipswich are there as well, Ben will not be allowed to play in the playoffs against Wolves at all, even if it's in the semis or the final. And so that is the rule set made here if Wolves don't make it in as well. So, Player of the Month announced, guys, and it is, of course, going to be Mr. Ben Wood. It's his 4th Player of the Month in this season. He had 3 back-to-back ones, but this one isn't back-to-back because, of course, there was a couple of months where he didn't actually get it, and that is, of course, still nice to have. So that's his 4th Player of the Month now, making even more of a case as to why he should be on that plane to Russia in 2018. But, guys, as I'll show you the league table as we end today's episode off. If you did enjoy today's episode, a like or rating would greatly appreciate it. As always, thank you for your continued support on the channel. I really do appreciate it. That is how the league table looks, guys. And they are 9 points away from Hull City in 2nd place with 7 games to go. Can they do it is going to be the question mark here. 18 draws in the season, though. That's sensational. It's stupid. That's it from me, though, for today, guys. I will see you all again at 4 p.m. UK time for tomorrow for another video. No double upload tonight, guys. I'm actually away at my other parents' house at the moment, so I've had to record this in advance and get it out for you guys. So that's it from me. I will see you all again at 4 p.m. UK time tomorrow, guys. Catch you all then. Adios!